Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is my reset prep day. For me, it's Sundays where I just take the time to wash my sheets, I wash my hair, I meal prep. Not all of my meals, but some of them, just to make it easier when I get into my busy work week. So I wanted to share my 5 super simple tips to help you meal prep, because I know it can feel so overwhelming if you see other people meal prepping and you're like, there's no way. There's bento boxes with 5 meals a day, 5 days a week. That's gonna take hours. I don't have time for that. I know a lot of you don't have time for that. And I've shared videos like this in the past, but these are 5 different tips I haven't shared before that I know are gonna really help you understand how to make meal prepping work in your life and your routine. So if you guys are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like these meal prep videos, hit the thumbs up and comment down below and let me know what specific meals you want to see me prepping more of. I'm gonna show you what I'm prepping for my week as I give you guys these tips, so hopefully you'll find this super helpful. All of these are really important, but I think number 5 is one a lot of us are guilty of not doing. So make sure you guys stick around for that one. So the first thing I learned when I was going through my weight loss journey was how important it was to make sure that I had easy access to healthy meals, because I'd find myself during the day just ordering food or picking something up at the gas station or just eating chips, and making really unhealthy choices because I was short on time and I didn't really know what else to do. So meal prepping was one of those things that started slowly becoming a part of my routine. But it did really overwhelm me at first, because I would compare my prepping to what I saw other people doing that I was supposed to be doing, and there was no way. It felt like it was gonna be crazy expensive. It felt like it would take way too much time, and it just didn't really seem practical for me. So you may have heard me share this tip before, because it's the most important thing for anyone to understand and do if you are new to meal prepping, or if you've just gotten out of the habit and you're trying to get back into it. So my number 1 tip is to start with 1 meal. You don't have to prep your entire day, you don't have to prep your whole week, but start with 1 meal that you know is the hardest for you to make or make a healthy choice for. So for some of us, that might be breakfast because you're rushing out the door in the morning, or maybe it's lunch because you're at work and you're forgetting to make it at home, you end up eating out. I know for a lot of people, it's dinner, because by the time you get home, you're just tired. So whatever it is, pick that 1 meal that you know is the one you always end up ordering takeout or picking something up for, or just you don't like making. Some people, you just don't like it. And start with that one. For me, the hardest meal is lunches, because our days are a little inconsistent. We're in the office some days, we're home other days. So I like to meal prep my lunches, or at least some of the ingredients. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so that I have those no matter where I'm at. And especially even if I am working from home, it's just nice to know I don't have to think about it. And it doesn't disrupt my whole day to be able to quickly have a healthy lunch. It's already set to go. So now that you know what meal or part of your day you want to meal prep, the second tip is to pick 1 to 3, I wouldn't worry about more than that, but 1 to 3 ingredients that take the longest time to make. So I think about my proteins like chicken, or really brown rice, quinoa, all of that. Because if you're trying to make that for lunch or even dinner, you're okay, well, that's 20 minutes sometimes that I have to wait to make that part of the meal. If I could just throw everything together, that'd be great, right? So I'm making my lunches, and I started by meal prepping my quinoa. So you guys can see I have my Instapot behind me, and I put my quinoa in there, I threw some water in there, and it's already done. I did that right before I started filming this video. So that's one less thing I have to think about. I can put that in containers and have it ready to go for my lunches throughout the entire week. And especially if you don't already have an Instapot, I'll link this one because I love it down below. But Instapot and air fryer have changed my life when it comes to meal prepping. I highly recommend them. It's just so easy to get way more done in less time. And then the second thing that usually takes the longest to cook is a protein. So whether that's chicken or ground turkey or fish. I mean, fish is usually pretty fast, but if you're doing more of a hearty protein, like your chickens or your beefs and that kind of stuff, it can take a while. So that's the other thing I always prep to have ready to go. And what I like to do is just choose 1 or 2 different proteins and either not season them or season them in different ways, so that I have variety. Because I'm not someone who can sit here and say oh, on Monday I want to have fish tacos, and on Tuesday I want to have spaghetti. That doesn't work for me, especially being pregnant. My mood changes. What sounds good in a day doesn't the next day. Like, so I want to just have the ingredients ready so I can kind of decide what flavors and seasonings I want as I'm ready to actually make that meal. And it just allows for you to have so much more variety in your food. Because if you ever look at people who meal prep, like serious meal preppers, it looks so boring. It looks like boiled chicken and some broccoli and rice, and it's like the same thing every day. No, thank you. I want to be able to have like flavors, bold flavors, and that variety so that I can eat really healthy and be consistent in that routine without getting super bored. And that's honestly how I build my meal plans. If you guys have used my Hot Buddy meal plan or really any of them, I structure it with ingredients, but I give you tips and like lay out how you can easily make swaps and make it your own so that you have the right macronutrients. You're like, I'll talk about those in a second, but like you have that all built out so you know exactly what to eat to help you with your weight loss, help you build lean muscle, help really create that change and teach you how to nourish your body, but you can make it your own. So it's not boring. And if you want to eat the same thing every day, like cool, you can do that too. But it really allows to have that variety and allows you to be able to order out if you need to as well. Or if you want to go out to dinner, still be able to stay on track. So I wrote that into my guide. That's how I live my life. That's how thousands of women have been able to lose weight and keep it off and really change their lifestyle. So to me, it's super important in anything I share to make sure like you guys feel empowered to make it your own. The third tip is to make sure you have 4 things in every meal. It is so important, you guys. If you've done my plans before, you've seen my hand in there. It's not actually my hand, but there's a hand in all of my plans to help give you a visual of how to fill your plate. So the same goes for whether you're meal prepping or as you're throwing your stuff together. So first and foremost, you wanna make sure you have protein. So that's your chicken, your fish, bison, beef, whatever. About the size of your palm is a normal serving size. You wanna have a healthy fat, so think about like avocado, your coconut oils, your nut butters, all of that, about the size of your cheese, whatever, the size of your thumb. Then grains, so some type of grains are healthy carbs. So I'll swap that too, because that could be your sweet potatoes. It's really your carbohydrates. So sweet potatoes, brown rice, quinoas, farros, like whatever about the size of these fingers up here. It's your portion. And then you need veggies. So those are the 4 things you want to make sure you have in all of your meals. So those are the 4 things I make sure I have on hand or prepped and ready to go to throw into my lunches. So we already got the grains covered, or my carbs covered with my quinoa, cooking up my ground turkey so I can have that a few different ways. And then I'm gonna do some veggies, and healthy fats are easy. You don't really have to prep those usually. It's just putting something, adding some cheese, adding some avocado, whatever it is to get that healthy fat in there too. The 4th thing I do before I start meal prepping is I think of 3 different ways to use those same ingredients, but to make the food different. I talked about variety, being able to mix it up, but it's important to think through that as you're starting to meal prep again, especially if you want to have the ability to like eat something different every day, but not have to make completely different meals. So I know I have quinoa, that's such a good staple, right? So then I have like my ground turkey. So thinking about, okay, what can I do with those ingredients to mix it up? I could do quinoa bowls. I could do some type of like taco salad. I could do tacos. Like there's a lot of different things I can take those ingredients and mix and match to make new types of meals. So I like to think of 3 different ways. And if I can't think of 3 different ways, then I usually will prep something else that I can, because you want to be able to mix it up, and it really makes such a difference for me. And I know if you guys make sure you have those 3 different ways, it'll help you stay consistent in wanting to eat healthy and continue that habit of prepping each week. And the 5th and most important thing you have to do, I said this earlier, I think a lot of us fail to do this when we are thinking about grocery shopping, going into meal prepping for the week, and just like starting a new week, make sure you make a list before you go to the grocery store. When you become like so comfortable in your routine that you just know in your head, that's usually me at this point, you know in your head like exactly what you need, great. But until then, make a list, because otherwise you're gonna start pulling a bunch of random stuff, good or bad, as you go through the grocery store and get home and be like, okay, what do I do with this? Not sure. So it's really important to go through the steps that I just mentioned, all 5 of those, in order, so that by the time you get to number 5, you know what you need, you know what you want, you can make that grocery list and stick to it, and that will save you money. Because I know meal prepping can get really expensive if you're not super strategic and you don't have a plan. But if you take these tips and you actually think of, 3 different ways to use those 1 to 3 ingredients, and you know exactly what you need, so you're grocery shopping for what you need rather than a surplus of all this randomness that you're not sure if you're gonna end up using or not, you will save a ton of money, you'll save time, and it'll be so worth it because you're just gonna feel better. Okay, so everything is prepped. It took about 20 minutes or less to prep everything because I was doing it simultaneously, which is really the key. 1 pot, rinse it out, like make it all work in as simple a way as you possibly can. And then I have stuff I can mix up. So I have like my greens. So if I want to make a taco salad, I do my greens. I can put some quinoa in there, I add avocado, maybe I dice up some peppers. If I want to do like a more like hearty bowl, then I'll use my quinoa as my base and add all my veggies on top, add the ground turkey on top. Again, I can add Greek yogurt or sour cream or avocado or really just whatever sounds good. I can make tacos and like have quinoa and beans on the side, or just not have the quinoa that day. But there's just a lot of variety I can do and switch up the seasonings depending on how I'm feeling. One thing I do love as a side note, I always go to like taco seasoning kind of flavors because it's like my favorite, but also the ground turkey, since it's really mildly seasoned, and the veggies, same thing, are really good with like coconut aminos if you want to make it more of like an Asian flavor. So those are things that I love to do with these, just signature staples. But again, take those 5 tips and they will make such a difference. All right, girls, I hope you love these tips. I hope they are helpful for you. If they are, or if you have other things you found that have really helped you in trying to eat healthier and meal prep more, drop them down in the comments below. Also, let me know what other meals you want to see me prep. I just did snacks recently, so if you haven't seen that video, make sure you guys go watch it. There are 5 really, really good snacks in there with recipes for you. I love you all so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.